Hello everyone and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And this week we are joined by our first returning guest, Dan. Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you. Glad to be back. I took a few weeks to get me back on. Last week I had no voice for like 3 or 4 days straight for some reason. Well, I know why. I used it a lot that weekend. I went to a football game, and so it was shot.
For some reason.
It was shot, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the whole weekend after that, I was like talking. I had like a Friendsgiving to go to, and then another party to go to, and so it was just no break. But now I'm
Busy
here.
weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody in the audience forgot or is new here, Dan is like the guy who got us both into Hunter x Hunter originally. So he's like he's the father of the show, really, if you think about
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't
That's a
for
real
him.
honor.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like I birthed you two. Oh.
Yeah, you did. It's almost like it.
Yeah.
So, of course, in this week's episode, we will be talking about Chapter 409, Negotiation, Part 3. To our surprise, we are still in negotiation.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we will be going through our community comments. If you'd like to join in on the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version, either on the video or the community post. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at just THAPod, for podcast-related updates and to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also still email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we have provided timestamps in the description if you would like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Very nice.
so Dan, obviously we don't have to interview you because they already know everything about you as of
Yeah.
last time you were on.
Yeah.
But the last time you were on was Chapter 402. So a lot has happened since then. So why don't you just tell us your thoughts on everything that's happened since the last time you were on?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's been a great, I guess, a variety of characters and plot points that we've kind of gone through, which has been nice. We got to see Phantom Troop, we got to see Hisoka, we got to see this whole negotiation and the whole game and everything, and so and more than that, but it's just nice to have a good variety and see some returning characters that I wasn't necessarily with Hisoka expecting to see like that chapter, and this whole game has been really interesting and fun. It reminded me of old Hunter x Hunter, whether it's the Hunter exams or like a Greed Island kind of mini game or something. So I really enjoyed kind of knowing what to expect going forward in the next chapters. Pretty much last 3 have just been this, aside from a few small panels. But yeah, as I'm not surprised at all, and I'm sure no one else is surprised, I've enjoyed these last 7 chapters just extreme amount. So
Hell yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, and I also appreciate how there hasn't been one very clear focus throughout this batch. We've got to see a bunch of different stuff, and in retrospect, that's been very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
Yeah, and it's been amazing to see your channel grow and everything. And it's awesome to see that. So
Thank you.
I'm very, very happy. About that especially.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah, last time you were on, it was the big talking point was the plan to kill Loserus, and we still haven't touched on that since then.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
So
Not at all.
That's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot
right.
that was the chapter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
That was the big deal. They were ramping up for the Hulkenberg stuff, but we weren't quite there yet.
Right.
All right, so other than that, there's a little bit of news this week. Well, actually, a big piece of news. Togashi had surgery this week. Details are unknown. I mean, he didn't really specify.
I think it was open heart.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Open heart, huh?
They got him right back in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to put a stint in, I think.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we have an.
That's not
incident there,
confirmed.
apparently.
That's not confirmed. No. Don't
Yeah.
spread any rumors.
All lies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It could have been his back. It could have been hands. Who knows? Anything. We have no idea. But he had surgery, so that's probably good news. It could be bad too, I guess. I don't really know.
The point is, we don't know, and we probably won't know at least for a long while. So
He's
Yes.
back on it, at least on Twitter.
Yes, he
so.
did just this morning, right? He tweeted that he completed another draft of a chapter. We do not know what chapter that is. It's very hard to follow at this point. I see a lot of speculation online about it. Like, some people are being wild and saying, like, oh, this is like in the 230s now. I don't know about that, guys, but whatever. A lot of people are saying that, so maybe...
Yeah.
Oh, 430s, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, he went back and redrew 230, actually.
He drew Hisoka. You know, there's that.
He did.
There's that's probably what put him in the hospital.
Yeah. Right.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's all for news this week. Just some unknown surgery.
Glad he's
So
back.
with that, I guess we're ready to jump into the chapter then.
Yeah, part 3. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, welcome to chapter 409, Negotiation, part 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure both me and Kaige thought that we were not going to be revisiting this chapter, so, oops, apologies.
And most of our audience too. We were all wrong.
Yeah, we got bamboozled, so.
A lot of things coming to light in this chapter. A lot of predictions being fulfilled, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. There's a lot of interesting
It's
stuff
nice
here.
to see immediate payout.
Yes.
Yeah,
For once.
absolutely.
It's going to be good. So if you would like to read along with us as we discuss this chapter, be sure to read along by visiting viz.com/shonenjump or by downloading either the Shonen Jump or Manga Plus app. It's free, or you can at least read the latest 3 chapters for free without an account or subscription of any kind. So yeah, be sure to go give that a shot if you would like to read along with us.
Yep.
I'd like to add, that was my suggestion. I never got any credit for it on the show.
Right, that
You're
was
right.
Dan's
I was
suggestion.
disappointed. I was like, oh
We
my
are
god.
thieves.
Gonna get
He
a little
stole it
shout
for
out here.
himself.
But no, okay.
Okay, well,
right.
shout out
Sorry, Dan.
to Dan the man for the suggestion of that blurb.
You saved the show.
Yeah.
So, to the chapter at hand, 409 Negotiation, Part 3. We start off with the where we left off this last chapter, right? With over the intercoms, special martial law. Special martial law has been declared. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. We just see Marina, Borksen, and the others looking along to the speaker. Passengers on Tier 5, follow orders from the military police and your bosses. The problem in an upper tier will not affect Tier 5. Do not be alarmed. Likewise with Tier 4. The closure of the passageway is to prevent the problem from disrupting the lower tiers. Safety measures are in place, and this issue will not affect Tier 4. So, Tier 5 and Tier 4 are seemingly unaffected from this, from what we're seeing. At least hearing from this declaration.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, but, you know, they don't care about them anyways, right?
Yeah.
All citizens on Tier 3, face the nearest wall and knee. Place both hands on the wall and stand by. Do not move until you receive orders from the Royal Army. If you do not comply, you will be shot. So Tier 3 just gets fucked here.
Yeah, that's bad. Wow.
They gotta put their hands on the wall and pray, essentially. Borksen, hearing all this, thinks to herself, special martial law. The maximum alert level in response to a national threat. With this announcement, all Royal Army soldiers are granted the right to shoot anybody suspicious without warning. It will be their duty to remove any armed citizens and eliminate subversives. So, this is bad, basically, is what she's saying.
It sure is.
Yeah, nothing good can come from this.
No. And she goes on to think, even Morena is a bit tense. I don't blame her. I was just on Tier 1 a short while ago and still didn't expect this. But now I can narrow down where we are. They wouldn't broadcast the upper tier announcements to the lower tier. Now I know for sure we're above Tier 3. If the broadcast continues, I'll be able to narrow it down more. And she says out loud, I pick deal. So another thing we were wrong about,
wow.
Dylan.
Hands up, yeah. That's
Oops.
yeah. Oops. It was slapping us in the face all along, that option. But yeah.
Marina says, what? And Borksen says, it's my turn. The deal card. And then we got a continuation of the announcement on another tier, probably to tier 2. Well, I guess it's across all tiers. It's just an announcement.
Yeah.
All citizens on tier 2 return to your rooms at once. Do not hold anything in your hands and await further instruction. Leave all doors open. Sit on a chair and place both hands on a table or keep them raised above your shoulders. Very specific.
How long would they have to do that for? I feel like that'd be very awkward.
Man,
Like,
that sure would be.
lower your arms. Lower your arms at all, and you get shot too. Like, ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, that's brutal. Back to Marina. She says, "You're so calm, even through this. Amazing. All right, the game goes on. I didn't think the risk to our side would actually surface with this timing. And here, I want to point out that my first instinct was actually right. She was worried about the Royal Army. I kind of ruled that out myself after thinking about it more, but no, that was her concern.
So
Very interesting.
so much stuff being predicted or like being answered back to back to back here.
Yeah, and even more to come. Plenty more to come.
Plenty more.
Back in the mind of Borksen, she's thinking, at this volume, she should have heard me over the announcement if she was listening. She had to ask twice because 1, she was distracted by the announcements, or 2, she needed to buy time to organize her thoughts. Either way, this interruption benefits me. She understood the emergency, yet agreed to continue the game. She either thinks this hideout won't be found, or she's confident they won't be neutralized. This isn't that big a deal for me. If this game continues without a hitch, we won't argue over the results. It would be best, of course, if the Royal Army comes in and neutralizes them, but then I could get hit by a stray bullet, or they might assume I'm one of Marina's people and shoot me. Even if I don't get shot, I'd likely be taken into custody, questioned, and tortured. To get out of this as peacefully as possible, I'd need to leave the game with the X card."
So
Marina says, oh, go ahead.
No, so basically, she needs the X card because even if the Royal Army comes knocking on the door, there's no good outcome for her even in that situation.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Guilty by
they're both
association.
feeling the time crunch here.
Yeah.
Marina says, the deal card means you can take back a card from the graveyard by fulfilling a small request. I know what to request already. A kiss. Look at that.
Yeah! Woo!
Wow.
A lot of us got that one right. And the Borksen says, I'd rather not. And then Marina says, mouth to mouth, a deep kiss. Just one, but it'll last until I'm satisfied. Not finished. That's a different implication.
Oh my god.
It has to do with my ability, so I'll warn you. The kiss is one of the conditions to grant my ability to my followers. I wonder, would she have still said this if she didn't pull the power card before? Because this threw me off. I'm surprised she's just saying this.
I feel. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. You go ahead, Dan.
I just feel like, yeah, she honestly, she's just been very honest. I don't know. It's
You're right.
Yeah.
it's that
It's just
simple.
She really is playing a fair game here.
Yeah, I love that.
One of the conditions, by the way, though. One.
Right.
Not just there's.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big. None of us really thought about this.
Yeah.
So this is interesting here.
Yeah.
So I need to fulfill 3 conditions to have you join me. I guess they're lettered now instead of numbered, but all right. A, the negotiation game must end with a yes. So that also means that the negotiation game is not new. This has been done likely through everybody on this thing. So another thing we were half right, half wrong about because we weren't really sure. We didn't really pick a side on that one. But
No.
I was surprised to see that.
yeah, me too. B, I infect you with my ability via a kiss.
We knew that
And
one already.
C, yes, we did know that one. And C, you must be present where I or someone on my team commits murder.
That's an
And that's
interesting.
entirely new.
That's a new one. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Interesting.
That one is weird. I mean, I guess they're all kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well,
The kiss one
Yeah.
is completely normal.
Kind of befitting of the group, that last one, but
Yeah.
just not something you would have thought about as like a condition, though. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
The order doesn't matter, but all 3 must happen or it won't count. So don't worry. Please decide whether you'll oblige under these conditions. Dan, you get the blasphemous page here, so take it away.
All right, from the intercom again, everyone on Tier 1, please return to your rooms and await a military investigation. Once that's done, your freedom to resume your daily activities prior to martial law is guaranteed. And then the emergency broadcast meant for Tier 1. This is Borksen thinking in her head.
Yeah.
It would never be broadcast in the lower tiers. It means we're in Tier 1. Was there a way on this cruise ship to kidnap me from Tier 3, then carry me to Tier 1? That can't be right. She's the Haley boss. She pretended to be the second track faker to take over. She had a residence on Tier 1 to begin with as a shadow to the Royals. If they set it up so they get all the broadcasts here, we could be anywhere. And then Marina says, I know it's a lot to ask. I promise we won't force any of those conditions on you. Borksen, again in her head, there's something I need to know, and I have to get the X card back. I have to. And then she says out loud, I'll do it. And then Marina says, all right, step over here. And who knows? We can leave it up to imagination. You know.
Yeah.
Come on, Togashi. Are you serious right now?
That's crazy.
I was so disappointed here.
Yeah.
The people have been demanding it. We've been wanting it for so long.
Yeah.
We didn't get it.
I know.
He didn't let us have it.
Our only
What
hope
is
is
this?
anime. We gotta wait for this
Yes,
adaptation
please. Save
in
us,
about a
Madhouse.
decade or so. Here, I'll give a
Madhouse.
little sound effect.
I didn't even hear it.
You didn't
I'm
hear
sure
that?
the Audacity definitely got it, so our audience will love that, I'm
Well,
sure.
If anything, it's just my face puckering up for a kiss.
Well, yeah.
All right. This
This
is
was so
not
disappointing, though, seriously.
Me. Yeah. I know.
It was something, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it more later, but
This is not my
Bullshit.
reaction. This is Marina. Wow. I'm sorry. And then Borksen says, "Huh? For what? What for?" And then Marina says, "Well, I didn't think that would be your first." And then Borksen says, "How would you know about that? Don't answer that. What's the big deal? I want that X back. Come on, let's go." And Marina says, "Do you want to take a minute? You don't have to push yourself. This is." And then Borksen says, "This is seriously unnecessary." And then I don't know his name. The dealer says, "Hold on."
it's Orarge.
Aurorge, okay. Aurorge says, "Hold on."
Yeah, so as Orarge is reaching to shuffle the cards, Borksen stops him, is staring at the X card and the other 2 face-down cards, and says, "These 2 cards, can I turn them over and look at them?" Everyone's just kind of pausing, like, huh? Like, that this is not something anybody expected, evidently. And Borksen says, "I took my eyes completely off of them during your sexual harassment session." She's never gonna live this down, evidently. Morena says, "As I've been saying, I am not cheating. You still want to see them. Are you saying they're both X?" Borksen says, "Yes, it's not a problem if you're not cheating, is it?" Morena says, "No, it's not, but it's sad. Some people want to look through their partner's cell phone while claiming, you wouldn't mind if you're not guilty. It just says you don't trust me. That really turns me off. That's okay with you?" And we see outside of the bubbles, what happened to privacy rights? Borksen says, "Yes. Can I flip them over?" Just straight to the point. Let me flip them over. And Miranda says, "So sad. We even kissed." And Borksen says, "Shut up. That wasn't kissing. I'm flipping them over." Does not care anymore.
What did they do?
Damn.
If that wasn't kissing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, man.
It was apparently a very passionate kiss.
Yeah, very passionate. Probably some tongue involved, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
But
wow.
More than
A lot of
likely.
tongue.
Yeah.
Okay.
in any case, Borksen, tired of the shenanigans now, takes the 2 cards and flips them over to reveal they're both no and return. Interesting. So the cards that we expected to see, evidently. And then Miranda says, see, they're no in return. Borksen says, yes. Evidently sweating a little bit, it looks like, even in that. But
A little bit. Little drop of sweat.
A little drop. Who knows? It might have been from the kiss.
It could have been.
True. All that blushing, you know.
Yeah. I love this whole, the last 3 chapters in general have made me really like Marina. But I just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just like the way she thinks like that. I don't know, the whole, some people want to look through their partner's cell phone claiming you wouldn't mind if you're not guilty. Just like, I don't know, it's just interesting comments and thoughts and stuff. And
She's I can't even think of the exact word to describe her attitude, but it's very entertaining to watch.
It is. She's one of my new favorite characters of the arc for sure.
Yeah, she's very good. I'm also really liking Borksen a lot, especially in this chapter.
Oh my god. Yeah, both of them.
This
are
is
awesome.
a very good. I think it's the dynamic between these two that's really making it for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Spoilers for later in the chapter, but I'm very happy to see the outcome because it means that
honestly,
we'll have,
I think
more interactions between the two of them.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll talk about that more later, but yeah. So Orage shuffles the deck once again and places 3 cards face down on the table. And Marina says, okay, take your pick. So Borksen picks up a card, and it is the X card.
Ooh. Not
And that's
good.
exactly what Marina says. Ooh, that's too bad. Would you like to check those 2 cards again? Borksen just kind of looks on, and Marina says, go on. Please pick your last card. If you have only one question, we can skip the QA card and go straight to QB. And then Borksen says, I pick the QA card, which was my suggestion for what to pick instead of Deal, but got there eventually. Just had one more card to get there.
I never would have expected the QA to be the last card that she picks, though.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Marina says, okay, I'll answer as many questions as you have. Let's begin.
Okay. I was wondering who was going to get the yes/no pages.
Well, it's over 2 pages, I think.
Yeah.
But
I guess
you get started off.
Well, technically 4.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So, Borksen says this hideout is somewhere on tier 5. Marina, I don't know. She thinks for a second or something, and she just goes no.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm just gonna assume whenever I say no or yes, it's Marina.
I think that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So then this hideout is on either tier 4 or 3. No. This hideout is either on tier 1 or 2. And then I guess Marina kind of pauses for a second and says no. And Borksen in her mind thinks, I knew it, tier 1. And then thinks,
well, important to note, she thinks that before she says no.
Yeah, right. And then after that, she thinks in her head again, what? And then she just kind of like is looking at Marina.
Almost blank face.
Yeah.
I love this panel at the bottom, just staring.
Yep.
No expression.
Yeah. And then Borksen says, you're lying. And then, no.
Not even a question. Just you're lying.
Yeah.
The hideout. This hideout is on board the Black Whale. Yes. This hideout is made using an N ability. Yes and no. And then Borksen kind of pauses for a second, thinks in her mind, what? Where could it? And then there's this, I guess, ominous,
like a rumbling.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just kind of a shaking feeling. And Borksen kind of exclaims like, what? It can't, and thinks in her mind, it can't be this hideout. And
Yeah, so it is revealed this hideout is in between tiers 2 and 3, as Marina says, yes. So we know where it is now, but I don't think any of us predicted this.
It's like, okay. Sure.
This is a wild one.
Yeah.
So we're in between tiers, which I guess was never out of the realm of possibility, even with our discussions. But like to the specifications of this, which I'll get into now, as Borksen then thinks to herself, taking in the information, this was planned all along since before they built the Black Whale. That was the sound of the central gate connecting tiers 2 and 3 being completely shut. We must be around here. So what the hell? They're like right on the connecting points between 2 and 3, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works, like
Yeah.
schematically. Like,
Well, she said has to do with an ability, kind of, so it has to be
Right.
something.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So, yes and no would imply, like, yes, it's like a part of the ship, but like it's transformed in some way to suit the ability. I don't know. It's this could get really complicated depending on what the ability is actually doing to the hideout.
Yeah.
But yeah, really interesting location nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, Borksen continues to ask questions to Marina. The entrance to the hideout is somewhere regular people can access. And Marina answers yes and no. So that's interesting as well. Like, how is that a yes and no question? Or
I'm thinking that means, because, she often lures people into it to help with their EXP farm. So I think that's the only way that people can get into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fair enough. Okay. Borksen says there are multiple entrances. Miranda says yes. So, there's more than one way into the hideout, confirmed. So that probably has to do with the Nen ability as well, right? I'm assuming.
The male and female bathrooms there, I don't know.
Maybe. Hey, who knows?
No, they opened those. Henry and Nobunaga opened those before. I think they literally are just bathrooms. Just the male one has a urinal in it, and the female one just has a toilet.
Okay. Right, this is near the processing room. Right. Okay. There are 2 entrances in all. No. 3. No. 4. No. Miranda answers. 5. Yes. So that's interesting. Borksen then thinks to herself, her first pause before her answer. It wasn't hesitation. More like counting in her mind to ensure she's truthful. So kind of already figuring out that she kind of has to be truthful, right? Because of the conditions of the game, right? Mm-hmm. So using that to her advantage. And she says, or thinks to herself, I'll use those vows and limitations to my advantage so you won't be able to get any of us after I leave. Then continues, including you, there are now 23 of you in all. No, Miranda answers. 22. No. 21. Yes. So, who are the confirmed dead members again?
The Weenie, the Crescent Moon Killer, and who was the other one even? Some nobody. I don't know.
Some nobody.
No.
I mean, it was like, who was it? Was like, it was that guy with like the axe that went after him.
Oh, it was that guy. I forget about him literally every time. Like, he was
nothing.
Yeah.
Some random guy.
I wanted to ask because I wanted to make sure the numbers lined up.
That is correct as far as we know, yeah.
Okay.
Padale
is his name.
Yeah, Padale. Okay. He looks like a freak.
Yeah.
He was a freak.
That
much is sure.
Okay, so Miranda is most likely telling the truth here due to the game and conditions of it. So, 21 people. Borksen says, if I get to walk away from here, the information you gathered will be voided and you'll keep your promise. Miranda says yes. Borksen pauses and then says, if the no card is the last to remain, you're going to kill me. Miranda says yes, with a very dark-looking aura surrounding her as she is presumably smiling. I would envision outside of the
same
panel.
Expression that she has on most of the game.
Yeah. More stuff is being asked here by Borksen. You're the only specialist among the 21 of you. Yes. You know all 20 of their abilities. No. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
That can imply a couple things, I feel like. Either not all of them have awakened to their abilities, and that's why she's answering no. Or, maybe she actually just is not keeping track of, like, what abilities they have. Just kind of letting them do whatever. That'd be interesting as well.
Yeah, that would be.
I think that
or
goes
both.
along with her character, where she just is kind of like, lets them go and just try to level up, pretty much.
Yeah, the overall goal is destruction. She doesn't care how it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
There is currently 1 enhancer. No. Okay. I'll squeeze as much information as I can out of them, Borksen thinks to herself. And you see a bunch of, I like this little detail here in this panel where it's a bunch of little scribbles of bubbles, implying that she's just asking literally every question under the sun. Like, even the one.
That is cool.
Probably a lot of questions that weren't even asked or presented to us here.
Hey,
So,
I'd take
I
like
that.
5 chapters with just questions, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Questions and
Yeah,
answers.
that was interesting.
Give us what we want, Tagashi.
Yeah.
So she goes on, says, obviously we're forward in time quite a bit now, I would imagine. She says, last question. I'm actually glad I talked to you and got to know you. If I get the card that enables me to leave, I'll try to change Kaige in ways that I can. But you don't intend to change your goal. Marina says, no. You won't change your goal at all? No. You won't change your goal no matter what happens? No. If we could find something, maybe anything, that could allow us to meet halfway? No. I won't. I will not change my goal.
Ah, so she broke her own rule here.
Yeah, elaborated.
Adamant.
She is a little bit of human after all.
A little bit in there.
Yeah.
Borksen just says, all right. It's kind of a glum look on her face. Orage shuffles the deck once more, places the cards on the table. Marina says, now, decide which card to discard. And slide it forward. This is your last card.
I really like the whole last few chapters, but especially this page. You can kind of tell that Borksen really doesn't see all bad in Marina. She
cares a little bit.
Yeah, like you can clearly tell she's like, maybe that kiss really got her going. Who knows? But
Yeah.
yeah,
I that's funny. But yeah, no, I feel like the revelation of her backstory would kind of move anybody to some degree, even if But it's cool to see that little bit of context, I guess, here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next page, Borksen taps on one of the cards, and they kind of look at each other for a second. Borksen says, "Let's do this," at the same time. She says, "If that's return, I die. If this is return, I'll forget everything that happened here and leave." Marina says, "All right then, on 0. 3, 2, 1, 0." And they both flip at the same time, and Borksen gets return, and Marina gets no. And they both kind of gasp at what each other got, and Borksen kind of lets out a yes. Oh God.
So Borksen seemingly wins the game. She'll be able to walk away scot-free.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, maybe
That's
not
what
everybody...
That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Certainly.
So, most people, predicted that Moreno would win the game, right? But, Borksen looks like she's going to get away with it. The
Congrats to the
underdog here
20% of the people from our poll that said Borksen would take it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
is
Impressive.
what I would say if it wasn't for these next couple pages.
Well, she still won.
She still won
She just
the game.
chose...
Maybe not
Yeah.
the way people
Yeah.
were envisioning, though. So let's continue
Go on.
All right.
for these last couple pages. Miranda claps, says, "Congratulations. A shame, but it is what it is. Now exchange return with the card you want, and the game is over." And then Borksen says, "Oh, I'm sorry," as Morena's, what? Borksen says, "I crushed the return card. It's all crumbled now." Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go ahead.
and this could be nothing.
Yeah,
but, it could just be excitement.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yes,
think
I
it
got
could
what I
just be
wanted.
like that, yeah.
But interesting detail nonetheless. Marina says, "It's all right. We use a new set every time." Borksen says, "That's good." And then Borksen is reaching for the card she's picking from the graveyard, and Marina looks kind of shocked as looking onwards. Borksen is very steadfast in her face, it looks like. But Marina says, "Isn't that a mistake?" As we look at the card that Borksen pulled from the graveyard, and it's yes. And Borksen just simply says, "No, it's not a mistake." So that's
Very
unexpected.
Very interesting.
Although I'm 90% sure I did throw this out as a possible prediction of her saying yes.
Yeah.
For some
a few
alternative
people thought of
purpose.
that.
I'll just say
But,
I thought that she was just going to flat out lose, but
That's what I thought was
kind
most
of
likely.
thought so too. But yeah, the fact that she is choosing yes is super interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to hear her reasoning for this.
I want to throw out as well, this now fulfills 2 of the 3 conditions of like actually, satisfying Contagions requirements.
Right.
So the
Needs
kiss
to witness
happened.
A murder.
Yeah, the
The
kiss
murder.
happened. She said yes in the game, which would fulfill B, A. The negotiation game must end with a yes. So now, yeah, she just needs to be present with Morena or one of someone on her team commits a murder. If that happens, then she'll actually be a part of Haley.
I could see Marina just killing one of the people in the room, honestly, just right there. You're like, all right,
No,
now
not
you're a
her
member.
followers.
That would be so funny. Holy shit.
The unnamed one.
Yeah.
Just get her out of the picture.
That was her entire purpose.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny. Oh, man.
Kill Gelato.
So, yeah, we got probably the troop is on the way. Royal Army's on the way. I'm thinking somebody's getting taken out there. Likely a troop member. That's my guess here. I think we're...
Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be
Troop member
so
dying here
cool.
to satisfy the last condition.
That'd be
I think
so
it's happening. I really do. It
The
just
question
feels
is who,
right.
though? Which one?
I'm still locked in on Finks. I feel it.
Yeah,
But,
I could see Nobunaga, honestly.
Here with
He's-
Dylan.
I
then.
mean, he's super...
Although
he's-
Dylan specifically thought that Nobunaga would be killed by Henry.
That's my prediction.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be 2. But,
Both could happen. Both could happen.
Yeah.
Either way, if assuming we continue with this storyline for the foreseeable future, we're gonna get more Borksen and Morena, which is fun, probably. Yeah, I'm super curious where this leads to, because why could Borksen be choosing yes here? Is the main question, right?
I think that she just senses that she could maybe change Marina's mind somehow about her whole plan. That really is like at the beginning of the game. Obviously, she would have chosen no in a heartbeat, but throughout the game, Togashi has kind of alluded to and added items that really kind of emphasize that Borksen, somewhat not likes, but has some kind of compassion or whatever the right word is for Marina.
It's not exactly comparable, but it does kind of give me Komugi Miram vibes in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is. Except kind of the villain. It's the positions are kind of swapped, where Borksen is more like Miriam and Komugi is more like Marina. But yeah,
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like this. I can't wait to see what happens with it. It's hard to imagine where this is going to go because we don't yet know Borksen's reasoning. We can speculate all day on it, and I would like to a little bit because there's some things to talk about. I think it's interesting that right before this she was asking about would you ever change your goals?
right. Yeah.
All that, and that can be interpreted in a couple different ways. But now that we know that her answer ended up being yes, I think we can pretty comfortably say that this was kind of a way to test the waters. See if maybe because at this point she probably already made her mind, like she wanted to join, probably throughout the hundreds of questions she likely asked, and at this point she's just trying to see is there any way I can help her without helping her on this exact goal?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think she wants to see the downfall of Kakin, but I'm thinking the part she doesn't really fully click on is destroying the world.
Yeah. There's one
That's
little
my
part of the
guess.
plan that she's not too interested in.
Yeah. And maybe she doesn't even really fully want to destroy Kakin, but she wants to maybe
reform,
reshape it, reform it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess in the end she just kind of figured all right. I mean, I want to help her in some capacity. I might as well just join.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of got to get to know that group, the group of friends that she's part of, like Surindish's group of friends, I guess, to kind of understand maybe her, I don't know, just general plan, philosophy. But obviously from this game, we got a lot insight and who she is and how she thinks and everything.
Just her, though.
That's the
have
problem.
much on the others
It's literally
right
just
now.
her. So all the other ones could be I don't know. Well, I guess you just see.
So I guess my next question that stems from this is that like obviously Dogman is out like searching for specialists, right? But do you think like Marina just like sends a message over to like, hey, stop your search now that maybe she feels like she's secured Borksen, which then leads into another question of like, will the last condition be met? Which I'm assuming everyone here is in line with like it'll probably be fulfilled, right?
Yeah, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah. I feel like it would.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, does she need more specialists, or is she good with just the one? Like, obviously, she wants a particular ability. That's the whole goal here.
Well, we don't. We don't know
more than that.
We only know that she's a specialist. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Morena can craft her ability into whatever she wants it to be.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
As a specialist, especially. Yeah. I mean, you can do pretty much anything you want.
You're right. Yeah.
So, so that's gonna be interesting. It's hard to imagine what that ability she wants really could be. It could be so many different things at this point.
Yeah, we need to know more than, this was obviously the most we've ever gotten out of Marina in the entire time she's been in the series, these last 3 chapters. So, I mean, even now, like, we still don't know so much. But
yeah. Yeah, and same with Borksen. I mean, these are both... It's really interesting here because we're dealing with 2 characters that we really don't know much about. I mean, we do know quite a bit about Morena, but not as much as, like, anybody wants to. No. There's still definitely so much to know about her.
Yeah.
And same with Borksen now. I mean, Borksen especially is a character we kind of... Like, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of just chapter number, we just met her not long ago.
Yeah,
that was
I think
in the
it was
last batch.
394. It's like...
that sounds right.
It's classic Togashi where he's just, like... It's a character you would never think that is going to be relevant at all. And there we go. We get like a huge 3-chapter.
Yeah, now they're a very integral character in the plot. All of a sudden.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if the rest of them come into play at some point too. Because I mean, we had a whole crew there introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might be at odds now, right? Because like they serve the Royal Army, so like
Yeah.
Boris is joining Haley technically. What does that say? How will they interpret that?
Some may follow her.
Yeah,
maybe.
I feel like they're a tight enough group that I feel like that they could, who knows? We don't even know if like she's maybe like kind of like a leader type, not like a leader, but like a more experienced person in the group.
Oh, for sure.
She's private first class.
Okay, so that's her. Okay.
So
well,
yeah.
Then
we do. I mean,
they definitely could follow her.
Yeah, she's above the other people that we met.
Got it. Okay.
Otokeen, whatever. However you say. And we know Momoli in particular really respects Borksen. So that could tie in. Maybe we'll see Momoli joining. Haley?
Well, remember that Haley has a cap of 23 members.
Right, but there's one more slot still.
Yeah, so
maybe she's saving it. I don't know for who.
I have to imagine, based off of the questions asked as well, that like that last spot will prove relevant at some point too. Like we'll get another person joining Haley potentially.
But that's also like, I mean, we're probably gonna get more Haley deaths too, and more spots filling up.
That's
like
true.
These guys aren't all living this whole time.
Yeah, some of these people are fodder for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
Yeah, maybe even like some people in this room. If the troop really does make it here, I don't like if they take down a troop member, they're taking other people with them. Like at least one, probably even 2 of them.
It won't be one-sided at the very least. Yeah, I think Togashi has enough respect for the troop for that.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I don't know. Cashew could come in and go crazy.
Got level 1, yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're all pretty much in agreement. This was a really great chapter.
Yeah.
I loved reading this one.
These last 3 chapters.
Information.
I mean, of course, all the chapters are amazing, but it's just fun. It's a good change of pace. It was nice.
Yeah, a lot of good reveals. Really good pacing of the chapter as well.
Yes.
Kind of left me on the edge of my seat for most
of it.
Yeah.
And just a great ender as well, like subverting of expectations for most of us. So I can't. Yeah, there was nothing to complain about. This is a great chapter. My only question now is where we go from here. Now that the game's finished, do we cut away? Do we stay with these 2? Like, what do we do?
That's the question. What do we all think here? Let's go around the horn. Are we cutting away next chapter?
I think we're due. I think we're due for a cut.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you never know.
I think we do as well. I think I don't know where we cut to because there's so many places we could cut to now.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to say it like for sure though, because like I said, yeah, we're cutting away next chapter, and we did not. So it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
You never
in
know.
all honesty.
I'm thinking we will. I'm thinking we're cutting away as well. But we both were in agreement on that last week once again, and we were wrong. So
We were wrong.
we'll see what happens. I just can't we might start the chapter with them still.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we might cut away after.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, like a half and half kind of situation, something
Yeah.
like that.
Could be half and half, yeah.
We've
I
had
could
that.
see
And yeah, as to who, I don't know. Hopefully the troop, but I feel like it's too soon, just given pacing of this arc. I feel like we're not due to see them again for a little bit.
I almost feel like maybe we go back to Karapika. To be honest, it's been a little bit.
That's my
now.
thought as well. Yeah, we gotta go back in time, see the Nen class, and catch back up to the present with the funeral and whatnot.
Maybe Silent Majority is finally found out.
We can only hope. Yeah, that's where my head's at.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts from anybody before we move into the next segment?
I think I'm good on my
Yeah, I
end.
don't think so.
All right, yeah. I mean, I guess with that, then we'll just head in and see what everybody else had to say about this chapter.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, now it is time to read what you guys have to say about the chapter. We got a lot of really good comments this time around. A lot to get through. So we'll get started very shortly, but just as a reminder, if you want to get in on the action and get your thoughts out there to potentially be read on the show, be sure to check out the community post every Sunday morning as the chapter releases. Leave your thoughts there, as well as you can send thoughts to our email or to the Twitter and Bluesky accounts as well. There'll be tweets there every Sunday as well. Yeah, look out for any of those and be sure to get in on the fun. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the Twitter replies, actually. So, first up is from Kaz saying, "So Borks will be joining Marina. Has she changed her mind in the last moment and plans to help her change Kakin, even if Morena's ways are a bit extreme? Or is she planning on being a spy? Hyped to know Bork's Nen ability, but knowing Tagashi, we won't see it for a while." And I'm inclined to agree. I feel like we're
Gotta be a
not
long
seeing that
time.
anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I can't see her being a spy. I don't know why. I don't really have any reason to believe that, but I just
Gut
don't
feeling?
get the vibe. Yeah, just gut feeling. I don't think she's a spy. I think she's like I said when we were talking about it earlier, I think she's sympathizing with her and she's agreeing with parts of her, but disagreeing with other parts. But I guess ultimately she just decided that the good outweighs the bad here, or
Yeah.
maybe she hopes that she can kind of sway her, like talk her down a little bit. But
Yeah, I
Who
don't
knows?
think she has a spy. I mean, I'm sure she'll relay information, but I don't think that's like her main motive.
yeah,
But
There's
yeah,
some
she
kind
could
of
definitely relay stuff.
there's some kind of sympathizing going on here with the
Yeah.
motivations,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, and yeah. So only time will tell, I suppose. But yeah, I'm curious as well.
All right, next comes from Rod, Ghost in a Shell, who says, "I feel if Crollo wanted to steal Morena's ability, all he would need to do is play the card game, based on Bandit's secret requirements."
How
maybe,
would that work,
if-
actually? Like,
So,
what was the requirements again? I need to refresh on that.
so the requirement. Hold on, let me get the exact. Go ahead and talk for a second. Let me get the exact definition of it.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I think just the idea of Crollo stealing Marina's ability would be a very like entertaining plot thread to look into. That being said, I don't know how else Crollo would be wrapped into the game if like Dogman weren't to like bring him back to the hideout or something, you know?
yeah,
Which could be possible still. We don't know.
I just don't think Crollo would play the game.
You don't think? he'd
See,
play the
that's
game
what
at
I'm
all?
thinking. Unless it really, because we just don't know if it's part of her Nen ability exactly. Like, we haven't gotten outright confirmation that, like, okay, this is actually a step in my Nen ability. It is manipulated by Nen in some capacity. We just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Because maybe he would have to play the game. He could be locked in.
Yeah.
But
We only
I
know.
don't really know.
The thing is, we have zero reason to not trust her, except that she is, has evil intentions. That's really, I guess that's a reason enough not to trust someone. But according to the game we just saw, there was no funny business.
Right.
But we didn't get to see.
All this being.
Well, I was just gonna say we didn't get to see her if the no card was pulled. So,
Right.
what she would actually do. But
True. Yeah, the method of killing.
yeah.
Okay, so Krollo's Nen ability. 1. Krollo must witness the Nen ability in action with his own eyes. 2. He must ask questions about Nen and be answered by the victim. 3. His victim's palm must touch the handprint on the cover of Bandit's Secret. 4. All of the above must be completed within 1 hour. And 5. A sufficiently rare and powerful ability requires Krollo to steal an object comparable to... Oh, well, that's new information. Forget that part. Who cares?
Right. Okay.
So those 4 steps. That's the important part. I forgot about the touching the book part, actually. Funnily enough. That's like the biggest part.
Yeah.
But, so... Yeah, pretty much, except for touching the book, pretty much every step there would be covered.
Hey, that's a fun fact if I've ever heard one. Talking about all this though, I also I gotta bring up though, I don't know if Krollo would feel particularly inclined to steal Morena's ability as well. I don't know what use that would be to him. I feel like he would even have the perspective of you need an ability to get your followers, right? I don't. So
Maybe he really wants to kiss someone.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it would give him an excuse to make out with the whole troop.
Yeah.
True. I never thought about that actually.
Yeah.
Dang. Good point. But fun little thing to think about. Regardless, good comment.
Yeah. All right. Spiral EX over at Bluesky says, "I knew she would be convinced to join willingly." A little more enthusiastically, he said that. I knew she would be convinced to join willingly. I didn't expect the deal card to be used with Borksen after last chapter, but when the game was introduced, I did think a kiss could be asked, but didn't expect Morena to be up front. I think we 100% are getting a second round with Krollo.
Another Krollo playing the game believer. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also really think it's going to happen personally. I guess it's just a matter of will Dogman still try to bring him there, even though they have their specialist? Maybe he's already on the way with them at this point in time. I don't know. Maybe it's too late.
We don't know what happened.
I don't know. Somebody's going to play the game again.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get 3 full chapters on someone playing it, but
no, probably not.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel unless he's forced to, I don't think he would play it. I don't know. But I could. Of course, could be wrong.
It's just it depends on the circumstances, because it could be beneficial to him in some way.
Yeah, it could be
not really
kind of
aware of.
Well, I guess not a sympathetic reason why Borksen's doing it, but she's not joining them because she likes she's on with their plan. So he could just do the same.
We don't exactly know yet, but it does seem to be the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see soon enough, I guess. It'd be fun if it does happen. So.
Yeah.
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 Next up, we have a. Did you have any other thoughts on that? No. Okay. Next up, we have from Weary Exile on the community post YouTube. Been watching you since the beginning, but only now decided to try and comment. Maybe y'all will even read it on stream. Well, it's your lucky day.
Not a stream though.
Not a stream, but close enough, right? So great to have you guys as part of the Hunter x Hunter community. You're doing Lord's work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the kind words.
Glad you've been here for so long.
Now, with all this compiling evidence recent chapters have had, I'm getting pretty certain of one particular theory, and that theory being all about Kaiser, the Justice Bureau, and Nasabi and or beyond being involved / perpetrators behind Haley's schemes. So the theory goes, with possible different routes to it. I'm listening. I'm going to let you cook. A. Kaiser, and by proxy the entire Justice Bureau, is either in cahoots with Morena. B. Are using Morena for their own benefit. Or C. Bureau's being manipulated by Morena. I find this option to be the least likely and least interesting. D, someone is using Marina and is facilitating her murder spree through the Justice Bureau. So, thinking they're all in cahoots with one another, essentially. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to read
curious
more.
to hear the evidence,
Yeah. We have Haley members being viewed as regular civilians, which makes it harder for the Jiu and Char families to deal with them. Their hideout is located between tiers 2 and 3, and the location was planned to be this from the very inception of the Black Whale ship. With 5 entrances existing, and one of them possibly being connected to the Justice Bureau located on the 2nd tier. Oh, that could be interesting. Okay. Kaige is also involved in multiple assassination attempts on multiple princes. 1, Loserus' plot with Melody and Guardian Spirit Beast Kacho. 2, struggle between the Justice Bureau and Benjamin to enact martial law in their favor, citing his talk with Steiner, V6 main representative and Dark Con, an expert aboard the Black Whale, where he asked him to declare martial law himself, all but confirms it. Huh. Okay, so you're thinking because he really wants martial law to happen, that like is kind of him scheming along with. Okay. 3, his plan to rizz up Melody for her ability, which can help with massive assassination attempt on multiple princes. Kind of core. Okay. It seems to me someone like either Nasibi or Beyond / Harrison is behind all of this, and I'm betting my money that it is Nasibi. He did refer to 200,000 people as sacrifices, and he does want the succession war to be as bloody and complicated to have the most suitable king survive by the end of it. Irregardless of whether that is someone who is biological son of Beyond, mafia boss, or one of his own actual kin. As long as the ritual is complete and the one most adaptable and cunning king remains, that is all what Nasibi wants to achieve.
Okay. I mean, I do think there is something to Nasubi that we're not really aware of. Obviously, he has that whole coffin room that's been a mystery for a very long time. With with 13 coffins, which is interesting. I don't know. It's the evidence here is pretty unconvincing to me, at least. I see a lot of the points you're bringing up, but I don't know. I guess it's just the fact that we haven't seen a lot of the Justice Bureau that kind of leads me to believe that, not leads me to believe anything. It just kind of strays suspicion away from them, I guess. So maybe that's intentional, but we just know nothing about them. That's like the least explored faction by far. And to have them end up being like this big of a deal in the end is pretty crazy. Also, just the fact that, you bring up Steiner a lot here. Well, not a lot, but you brought him up in that one part. And I want to remind people that Steiner isn't like part of the Justice Bureau exactly. He's like kind of on loan to them. He's only working with them because he just kind of has nothing else to do while he's waiting to be in the Dark Continent.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, would he really, if there is some grand scheme, why would he be cued in on any of it? Because he's not really with them even.
That's a really good point, actually. But I do see the like line of thinking though as to how like the Justice Bureau could have something more to them, than meets the eye, especially on the more devious side. But yeah, the truth of the matter is that we don't have a whole lot to go off of for that assumption at the same time. So.
I like the thought process of it. I just don't know if the problem with a lot of theories is it's just like, especially with Hunter x Hunter, is there's so little information, for instance, on the Justice Bureau that, it's just, we don't know. it's that simple. And you have a good line of thinking, but it's complex, and maybe certain parts of it are right, certain parts of it are wrong, but.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Like, certain part, like, anything that's said about Kaige, really, I can see happening.
I could get behind pretty much everything you said about Kaige, honestly.
Yeah.
There's something up with them. We just can't put like a specific finger on it,
And I wouldn't say like, because Kaige is this and that means the Justice Bureau is this and that also. I wouldn't say that exactly. I feel like whatever is going on with him is kind of largely unrelated to the Justice Bureau as a whole. He just happens to be in the Justice Bureau.
Yeah, and I feel like whatever motivation is there with Kaige, assuming that he is, behind some sort of scheme, right? It's probably entirely selfless and or like below a specific person, not necessarily as a part of the Justice Bureau. That'd be my guess, personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If there even is anything up with him at all,
Yeah.
like it still could be a massive red herring. We're just
He could
waiting
just
for
be a
that shoe
weird
to
guy.
drop.
Yeah.
It really could be. Yeah.
Something
You
I
don't really
did,
know.
I do think that is interesting is that Nasabu is behind the family, but I don't know if it would be the Haley family. I feel like Marina's too, at least now we know way too much and she's too involved, I think, and unless she's also just like, unless she is, I don't know, she's just so passionate about it, it seems like she created it herself, kind of their plan. But it could have been Nasabi. But I could see one of the other families, being some under Nasabi, I guess.
Yeah,
one that's a
I would
little
actually end up.
less involved right now.
That's the thing. Yeah, I'd be disappointed, honestly,
Yeah,
if Haley
exactly.
ended up being like
Exactly.
under someone. They're just Morena in particular is just so strong of a presence. It would really undermine her to be
Right.
working for somebody.
Right. That's
Very charismatic as well, as we've seen in the last few chapters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's definitely a leader.
Yeah, especially when you get that kiss from her.
That's right.
That's
Must
right.
be one
Yeah.
good kiss.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
All right, next comes from Starkillen, who says, the last few chapters have definitely solidified Morena and Borksen's place as potential fan favorites of this arc. If the next chapter shifts perspectives, I'm looking forward to when we see them and the outcome of Borksen's choice at the end of the chapter. With Borksen joining the Haley, my personal thoughts are she was motivated by the martial law and realizing the importance of Nen. Joining the family means she can probably stay in the base and avoid the chaos outside, where she could get caught up and killed. Though there's also the risk of the base being raided. Her joining also means she has a quicker way to learn Nen, which may have increased importance if Morena mentioned the usual lengthy training time. True.
She did
I
mention
can't remember
that,
if she
I
did.
believe. I believe she did mention that, like, normally it would take a while to actually learn.
Yes, I'm pretty sure she did say that. And even if she didn't, on page, it could have been one of the many questions that were asked off
Yeah.
page.
Or it could have been information she learned briefly when she was on Tier 1.
True.
That
Yeah,
was
because she
mentioned.
does know a little bit about Nen even before this. Not a lot, but,
Bingo. Yeah.
you know.
Well, she kind of just knows what Well, I guess. Yeah, Theta could have kind of mentioned that it does take a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely
that
could
was
have.
Absolutely.
Part of it.
And considering the intelligence, scheming, and wit Borksen displayed, I'm really looking forward to not just her Hatsu, but how she interacts with other Nen users aboard. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really curious to see what she does with whatever Nen she ends up getting.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pressing question for a little while now, especially since Borksen is, like you said, starting to be solidified as a potential fan favorite amongst multiple people. So
Yeah, climbing the
Yeah.
ranks.
for sure.
All right. Savora LF says Marina breaking her own rules when she was being pressed by Borksen, questioning her resolve, really showed her conviction. She said she would only respond with yes, no, or yes and no, but she saw that Borksen wasn't going to let up, so she needed to add words to drive home the point that she would not change her goal. Really liked that part for Marina's character. We brought that up. I agree. That was just it's cool.
Yeah, that was a really nice little moment there. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a few words says a lot about her conviction. So that's really,
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Next up, we got from Bazaar Czar. This chapter was crazy. Can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts. So far, 2 of the 3 conditions for Borksen to be inducted into the Contagion game have been filled, with the last being that she needs to see a murder be done by one of the Haley. If I were to make a prediction for 410, I'd say that with martial law being activated, some royal guards enter the hideout, but instead of being caught in a crossfire like Borksen feared, the Haley massacre them in front of Borksen. This would fulfill the last condition and finally make Borksen be part of the Contagion game. Either that, or Finks and Phaeton barge in and get killed, but I doubt the Haley are capable of killing them as of now. I wouldn't be so sure.
I don't know, man.
They're unpredictable. They're unpredictable.
Keep in mind, there's still that unnamed one. Unknown level, unknown everything. We know nothing about them. They could be level 99 for all we know.
That'd be ridiculous.
It sure would be. But it's a wild card. I think you're underestimating Haley there. And yeah, I guess the select members in there aren't too impressive from what we know. That's the key word there, from what we know. Yoko Tani's pretty capable, I guess, but he can't really kill anybody.
Yeah. You can only just push them out, essentially, right? So.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it could also be the Royal Guards and stuff. That's entirely possible. But
I feel like that'd be a little anticlimactic if it was just like the Royal Guards being killed right then and there.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
But I feel like there has to be like a decent build up to like, Borksen actually getting the Nen ability, or like being able to make the Nen ability. I feel like that's like a huge moment that needs to have something really suspenseful and or impactful to precede that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how I see
I'm inclined to agree, yeah, for sure.
I'd agree as well.
All right, next comes from Ilias Gomoraki Haki. That name trips me up every time. Why do they say that only apartment 3 needs to place apartment 3?
Tier 3.
Oh, tier 3 apartment. That's very interesting. Where did that come from?
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
this is
it's
a
a
translation
translation.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh, apartment.
I bet
Okay.
it's...
I'm not sure either.
I think it's probably just a translation.
Interesting. Okay. Tier 3 needs to place their hands on the wall, and the other tiers do not. I think Hulkenberg mentioned to Benjamin that the virus spreads, which is the reason behind the martial law. Okay, I didn't think about that. That's an interesting thought.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was contained. Yeah, hold on. I'll talk about it in a second. And of course, we've seen that the stairs were sealed off, as I pointed out in the last chapter. This will make it more difficult to move around, potentially creating chaos, especially with Krollo and the mafias involved. For sure, on that last part. And the virus spreading.
I think that's
that's interesting. I feel like that was... it's a great observation, first of all. The thing is, though, I really get I remember that not being an issue. Like, I remember the last time we were really thinking about that, like, at the forefront of our minds. I think worries about that were kind of eased. I just don't remember why or how. I'd have to go back and read that chapter, but I feel like it was contained, right? Like,
it was. I think the reasoning was that it would have been released in like a contained area, and therefore it wouldn't spread throughout the entire ship. But I guess anything could happen.
Because in theory, it was released. Balls would have released it in Hulkenberg's cell, right? So nobody would have been around.
Right.
But could it still spread through just like his breath? I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't really know how the virus works in that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that, though. I didn't even
think that's a good thought. Also worth noting is Hulkenberg now in Ball's body. Does he have more of that in his shoe? Like, does he use all of it, or is there still more left?
Would he know that it would be in his shoe, though?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably not, unless Benjamin said something about it when they talked on the phone.
Maybe.
I'd have to go back.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, because Benjamin was being a little cautious still, so I doubt he mentioned that. But yeah, interesting regardless.
Yeah, and I wonder how Krollo's going to get to tier 2 and above now. That's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
Maybe through Haley. Hey, that's
exactly.
That's an avenue between the tiers.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see.
I didn't think about that until now.
You could pull some ability out of his ass, though, and that gets him through.
Yeah, teleport.
You very well could, honestly. I wouldn't.
I mean, he started on tier 5. We got to remember.
Right.
I don't even know how he got to anything above that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But it's believable because it's Krollo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Minin1824 says Borksen has chosen yes, not entirely unexpected, honestly. It would have been very un-Togashi-like lore dump if she just chose the X card and left, and pointless if she died. That's a good point, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that, at least.
Why did she pick yes, though? I'm thinking she is going to try and get Nen and then escape. Bork seems smart enough to know Nen is essential in not dying on the Black Whale. My other thinking is that when she asked to look at the cards to verify that they weren't tampered with, She then marked the card she wanted, and to keep Haley from potentially investigating her, she picked yes to throw them off and plans to escape later. My God, that was a crazy sentence.
That was a very long sentence.
Or she thinks Marina, she can fix Marina. Personally, I think
did throw around that idea.
I think that it's a bit of, she has maybe a plan, but I think she also thinks she could fix Marina. I think it's a little bit of both.
It kind of gives me the vibes of like going with the flow, like okay, let's see
I'm
where this goes.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a backup plan in mind, but it's kind of hard to say because, like, again, this decision was slightly unexpected. So,
right,
not really. There hasn't been a lot of time to really think about the whys and the what ifs, but there's a lot of places this could go for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended in some kind of escape plan. After getting Nen, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually stuck with it for her own personal reasons, right?
Yeah, who's to say?
Yeah, I do think I agree with, like, I guess if she just died right there, it'd be like, I guess we got the insight of how the game works and everything. But be too bad to miss Borksen as a character in the future. And then if she just left, if she left, she definitely, she'd still be relevant and has all this information now on Haley and Marina. And, but yeah, whether if she left or not, as long as she didn't die, I feel like both outcomes were good. Good. It will be interesting going forward.
And let's not forget, there's a couple different things that could very well happen if she were to escape, even for whatever reason.
Yeah, we don't even know.
If we don't see the dynamic with her and Marina, it could very easily be a case of like, okay, now I have Nen, and then now she's going back to being assigned to like Serenich's quarters, right? And like what could happen there?
True.
Especially
well, she wasn't in Serenich's quarters.
Well, okay, no, but she was.
She was outside.
Yes, and either
she
way,
was
I feel like
the contact.
Right.
She wasn't. I thought she was. I'm pretty sure she was there.
No, not the whole time.
No, not the whole time, but she was there.
But my point,
she goes back and forth. Yeah.
My point either way is that it would catch his attention potentially, and maybe something happens with that, right? Like there's interesting avenues.
Yeah, because he'd probably notice that she suddenly has Nen.
Oh yeah, and he'd be very interested because he's Nen obsessed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Next up, we have from Edwards saying, I have no idea what Bork came up with in that question at any time, but it's exciting nonetheless. Nice to have a long stretch of chapters contained in a single place. Seems like entering the Haley hideout would be much harder than we anticipated. I figure the troop won't have a chance to get into it till later, essentially postponing the chaos Togashi is building towards. Regarding the martial law being employed and its announcements, this is something a friend of mine, Angrous Shadow, noticed. It seems like there's a focus on people showing their hands. If this is at all related to Hulkenberg, then it may be likely that everyone needs to show their hands so soldiers can spot any feather marks, the ones Hulkenberg's Nenbi shows when someone's affected by the ability. Just something to keep in mind.
That'd be interesting. It'd be convenient, I guess, but holding up your hands is clearly a sign of surrendering, or they're not going to reach for anything or whatever. So it'd be convenient, I guess, so they could spot that, but
it'd be a convenient explanation. But like we also have to keep in mind for like, especially relating to like tier 3, what reason would anybody on that tier have to care about like specific princes winning?
Yeah, well, well, we don't.
Especially one who prior to this race, so they wouldn't even know about this. Like prior to this, Hulkenberg was largely like uninvolved with politics and stuff like that. He was not interested.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. Something doesn't line up there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So it'd be a convenient explanation for sure. I don't personally buy it though. I think it's just military presence and whatnot, right?
Yeah. It's
Cockines,
the thing to do is put your hands up.
It's just a coincidence, I think. And also, I don't think that normal people can even see the feather mark. I'm not 100% on that, but I don't think that's the case.
No, they wouldn't
leave
be
a
able
comment if Kaige is wrong
or
not.
They wouldn't be able to
see
the feather mark. Unless if they would, then there'd be a lot of people with feather marks that anyone is noticing at any time. I feel like that'd be like a weird omission.
Oh yeah,
of the
but they're all
ability.
tier. I mean, everybody that has the feather mark is in tier 1, and I mean they're just people in Hulkenberg's quarters anyways. So who would really see him
I guess
until the funeral, which I mean is what
yeah.
was when things broke out. So
Still
we'll have
don't
to
know what's
see
happened with
going on.
that. Yeah.
we-
Right.
God, the suspense is killing me.
I know. One day.
But yeah, long stretch of chapters within this one game was very refreshing as well for the most part. So, yeah. Thank you for the comment.
All right, next comes from insert name, who says Togashi clearly lacks balls. Give me the French kissing scene, you coward. I could not agree more, my man. This is absolute blasphemy. I was so pissed.
Maybe
Should've
the
been in
editors over
detail.
at Shonen Jump was like, you got to get some balls.
But
and they
it's
got him in
happened
this surgery.
before.
Well, they wanted
he's-
him to get the surgery to get balls now. So
I
next
s-
time, might put it
Oh,
in.
okay.
Yeah,
Clever.
it's all coming together.
I don't know. It should have been drawn, I think. But, you know, whatever.
Just one panel, one crumb.
Something. And, you know, actually, you know, here, live write-in on Bluesky, Shir Kaige just responded to my tweet about it. And good point. He says he drew it one time, so this is just for comedic effect, and it worked. You know what? You're kind of right.
Fair.
This was like a comedic moment,
Yeah.
whereas the first time it wasn't comedic. So, but it still could have.
It's-
Well,
It still would
Maybe
have been hot as
showing-
fuck, you know.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's
He
really
was
what it
saving
boils down
us.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, he goes on and says, I wonder what the motivations Bork has on how to change the empire. She appears to have been fairly lackadaisical. Wow, I have never seen that word typed out
Me
before.
neither. Yeah, whoa.
Good word.
Lackadaisical about the government to this point, but now it appears she has strong convictions. I do like that Togashi is making her a character with robust agency, but I do fear that this may complicate the arc even further. Yeah,
Hey, give it to us.
oh, yeah.
I don't care.
yeah. Honestly, add
Togashi
layers. I
doesn't
don't care.
about that.
No, we're here for a while, guys. We
Yeah.
just got to accept it. We're gonna be on this boat for well over 100
Oh
chapters.
yeah. Oh yeah.
One thing I urge you to is reread Morena talking about her scar in 378, given we know it's not the real Morena. It's so cool to see Togashi laying the groundwork early. Yeah, I would be curious to go back to that.
Keep reading. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that chapter.
Okay.
Great.
I'm currently speculating on what ability Morena could be desiring Bork to create. Morena has a pretty good operation going, with complementary abilities that provide contingencies to protect vital parts of the operation, like the hideout and disposal. Her ability means that given any obstacle, they can recruit others to fill any role in response to outside stimuli. If there is one, I don't see it being any of the known ones, other than maybe something related to the treasures we are unaware of. Okay. I could see it being a Nen Exorcist or information gathering ability like fortune telling or future sight or memory based. Wow, future sight would be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, hey, that could be something to work for. I guess a specialist could probably do that. However, Togashi has clearly sat down and considered what specialization is and what the limitations of Nen charts are, of what the Nen chart is, and decided how now is the time to tell that information to us, the readers. This is made more obvious by there being at least 5 to 6 specialists present other than Bork. Morena, Sari, Benjamin, Krollo, Karapika, and if Hulkenberg isn't ill, eat a hat and then find Togashi to anchor. Oh, sorry. I see.
Yeah.
If Hulkenberg isn't, I'll eat a hat and then find Togashi to angrily rant at him. Yeah, well, he might not be, but I mean, yeah, I get your point. I suspect what Morena tells her is the key to identifying the ability. Given that I feel her ability must make use of either a completely unseen application of specialization or multiple Nen types not adjacent on the Nen chart. Without more knowledge on Morena and Bork, I doubt we can get it, but what I do think is extremely likely is that it will be heavily inspired by Christian imagery, potentially even German in origin. A lot of the people in her sphere have imagery of Christianity. Sari has a Nen beast with 666 as a belt, and Morena literally has a crown of thorns like Jesus. I want to point out that when I said 666, Siri just went off. So what does that say about Apple, guys?
Dude.
Think.
Apple.
Open your eyes, guys. We may be seeing a repeat of the Judas imagery used by Hisoka in York New, further emphasizing the parallels between the spider and the Hailey.
Oh, man.
Okay. I could see her having angelic imagery or even an ability based around 30 coins. If her name is intended to be Volksen, it's possible her ability will be connected to people or humanity due to the name coming from German, Volk, potentially gaining exponential growth as Morena's army grows.
Oh, that's
Wow.
some really cool details.
That is really cool. I love that.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Whoa.
That is a great act of like connecting dots. I really, really like that idea.
That's very good. That's very good, actually.
Yeah, I really like this. I don't have a lot to add to it, really. I just really like that idea.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
super cool.
I love that kind of thing where there's some kind of subliminal religious, like, I don't know.
Like connotation.
Yeah, connotation. I for some reason in fiction, I think that is so cool. I don't know why. It's just like, it just sounds. It's just like such an old kind of comparison, I guess, to various things. It's so interesting. So it'd be really cool if that ends up being true.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought it was interesting that Morena had the crown of thorns on.
Yeah,
I
the
was
crown
like-
of thorns. Yeah, that's
yeah.
something we talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, super cool. I will definitely be keeping this one in the back of my mind. Thank you so much for this insert name. This was a great comment.
Yeah, and then speaking of Morena, the part about like in 378, I believe the part he's referring to is when Morena's talking about the scar, and she's describing why the scar is there. Signifies the children of the king who cannot become rightful heirs. Talking about what it represents, but then she mentions, "But I like this scar," as she kind of rubs it. Without it, I would have slid closer to death. With this scar, I was able to perch on the razor's edge.
Yeah, that razor's edge line. I've always loved that.
Yeah. So, I guess the idea that without the scar, she would have been meat still, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Man, Tagashi's a legend.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the best.
So good. This arc is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good comment.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you.
ZZ Gatch, whichever it is, says Morena said that they all had their goals centered around killing people, directly or indirectly. What if Borksen, being the Chad she is, joins Hailey with the goal of killing Morena / the Hailey? I think that Borksen resolved herself to do this when Morena told her that she would not change her goal of destruction no matter what. So instead of leaving and waiting for Morena to eventually destroy her way of life, she's going to join Hailey to gain the ability to stop them. I think that's a good point too.
This is actually really great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be kind of like an Ouroboros situation. You're feeding yourself, so Morena's creating her own demise here,
Right.
unknowingly, or maybe knowingly. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. There
'Cause-
could be some crazy mind games at play here.
It's especially important to remember that this is a very real possibility given Borksen's own stated convictions, being that she just wants to live a contentful life, really.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have any
Right.
big aspirations or goals. She just wants to live. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Just wants to
Yeah.
live on the countryside, away from whatever the hell is happening in the world.
This is just such an exciting development. This really, like, in a completely different light, this really could be like the Meru M Komugi relationship of the arc. Like, just these two people gaining some sort of relationship in some capacity throughout
Common
the whole arc,
ground.
and
Yeah.
culminating in something tragic later down the line. I think obviously very differently played out, I would have to imagine. I
Oh, yeah.
don't think they'll actually like fall in love or anything. Maybe.
Hey, that
We didn't
kiss.
see the kiss,
Hey,
guys.
that
Maybe that'll be a
kiss.
flashback someday.
I guarantee
That'll be a
you
big
the
moment.
shippers are already out
Oh,
there
yeah.
Oh yeah,
doing
no doubt.
yeah.
God's work, right? So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, I actually really like this idea too. On the
true.
completely opposite end of the coin of the last one. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really good.
And that's how you know when a good dynamic has been made between characters as well, where like multiple different like completely polar opposite like conclusions of a plot point, right? Like if all ends of it are exciting, that's how you know you've created something very like something people will latch onto and will invest in.
Yes, 100%.
Whoa.
Wow, Dan. Got that mind link.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you up next, Dylan?
Yes, it'd be me, yeah. So, this is me 2014, writes in, I have seen a lot of people are saying that this is it. Borksen has now joined Marina's team. But there's one more condition left, and I'm not ready for it. Finks and Phaeton are coming to the hideout. What if one of them will be killed in front of Borksen, and that's how she will join Marina's team? Marina's just keeps going up and up in my character ranking this arc. Yeah, it's a real possibility. It really is.
Yeah, we're all in agreement there. The only other option really is like the Royal Army coming in, and that's what the death is. But I just think that's lame, personally, we said earlier.
Yeah. Unless there'd be more context to it than maybe I'm envisioning. But
yeah.
True. And
that could be.
Why would I feel like Marina wouldn't want to do that, because then it's just like you destroy Borksen's, I don't know, like even inkling of motivation to be with the Haley. To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
You know what? That does raise a question to me. Like, I wonder if, we don't know what Marina's steps would be after the game normally, right? Like, that's not something that's been revealed to us. I wonder if, like, maybe she'd take a different kind of approach with Borksen, given that this is a very new outcome of a game that they're experiencing, right?
Yeah.
Like, someone joining of their own will, essentially, when they had the option to step away.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, from what we saw between their little relationship they have going, I just feel like Marina, it's a mutual kind of, I don't know if respect's not the right word, but like, I don't know, curiosity or, something like that, where I don't think Marina would just want to throw that away.
Which would be interesting for Marina's character, because she wants to throw everything away, right? Supposedly.
Right. Yeah. And that goes back to the whole Meruem and Kamugi comparison,
Yep.
Right.
Like,
something's brewing here, and I'm liking what we're cooking here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she's just such a Marina's, and they're both such a cool character. But it's ever since she was the cover of Volume 37, I was just like, wow, it's an interesting choice to put her as the cover. Right. Then we got the cover page,
just this new badge.
This new badge, and so it's like, now we're understanding why she was on the cover of Volume 37. It's clear.
Yeah, it was especially interesting at the time that cover was revealed, because at that point we had really barely seen Marina at all. A lot of her like scenes have come within the last 20 chapters or so.
100%.
So that was big.
Yeah, and it got me thinking back to other covers that Togashi has made, and I'm trying to just think off the top of my head whether there were covers where it's a similar thing.
Well, you want to know the biggest one that just came to mind immediately?
Which one?
Like 2 volumes before the end of York New City, there was a cover with Biscuit on it. Before Greed Island even started.
Okay.
So
whoa.
Interesting.
That's one of the biggest examples that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of red herring ones too, like just like
the
2 covers of like Leorio and Kurapika during Chimera Ant and Gon in the newest one. Like, but it's definitely real sometimes as well.
Yeah. There's Togashi would know whether what character he wants to put on the cover. It just is up to us to really know if it's for a reason or not.
Right.
So
yeah.
But yeah.
All right, next. Go ahead.
Comment. No, I was just going to say, good comment. Yeah, thank you for
sure.
writing in.
Next comes from Asura3229, who says, I'll bet that Benjamin, the real Benjamin, was the one that called martial law. Might has been his friend and workout partner for years. I doubt that he would be tricked via body swap. Plus, his Nen Beast ability hasn't been revealed. I don't see him dying for a while. That's precisely why I do see him dying soon, because everybody thinks that way. We're all like, there's no way Benjamin's going to die now. There's no way. He's too big.
Yeah.
What if he does? Dude, Togashi has pulled this stuff many, many times.
Chimera and Arc. I mean, they're not really a lot of characters that were as important as Benjamin are currently, but there's so many ants that were important at the beginning of the arc that, like, for instance, Miriam just kills, right away. Peggy.
Yeah.
It's just like, so.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, actually, about Benjamin. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I see him honestly dying really soon. I feel like his time to exit the story is coming up.
Man.
I think his death would this is something I've talked about many times, but I think his death would also really signify, like, okay, this is the end of a part of this arc. Like, we're really moving. This is like the big signifying moment. We've dealt with this guy that's been an overwhelming presence for this entire arc so far.
I feel like
now he's out of the picture.
If him,
so you're thinking like the climax of like a second act, right? Moving into the third act.
Or maybe maybe even technically first act, depending on how you look at where we're at. But yeah, first or second act finale for sure.
I see.
Yeah. If Srundich, him, or Hulkenberg, I think, die, that's when we know, like, big moves are going on. We've just had rumblings, literally, of big moves.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like the big three, and we'll see.
Those are the boys. Don't die though, Hulkenberg. I need you around still.
Yeah. Next up is Louise Raphael 7939 says, Morena was really trying to be truthful the whole game. Borksen could have cheated. What is the consequence? If she cheated, marking the cards when she asked to see the cards, does it nullify the game or at least weaken the resulting contract? Next chapter, we are going to follow Kurapika's classes and Silent Majority plot or melody, Loserous attempted murder. With the 3.
Oh yeah, I didn't even consider going back to melody in them too. That's certainly possible.
Yeah,
I'd love to. That's been very not touched upon recently, but I mean, same with Kurapika. Really, I would also love to see more of him. Obviously, I always want to see more Kurapika, but
good point about like if there would be any consequences even for Borksen doing some kind of cheating with the game.
I would say yes, honestly, just because of how strict we've seen Morena be about the rules thus far. 100%. Even if she cheated to get the answer of yes, I still think there would have to be consequences just because of how, she follows the rules. It's just in her nature.
Just in her saying that she's disappointed that Borksen didn't trust her, with the car, like switching up the cards when she wasn't looking or whatever. Right. She's like, oh, I'm kind of, insulted by that. Imagine if she straight up cheated in the game,
Yeah.
So.
For sure. Next up, we have from Soul King, coming to like Borksen more and more. She like me for real. Fair enough. The most interesting details is her eyes and the lack of emotion they show.
Yeah.
Overall, good chapter, but the only speculation we can do is on what caused martial law.
Yeah.
I'd say there's plenty more to speculate than that.
The martial law one is a big one.
Martial law is the big one.
Yeah,
I get it.
That is a big one for sure. And yeah, that's something I've always meant to talk about. Well, I say always, but just these last 2 chapters about Borksen's eyes. Yeah, there's so much focus put on them all the time. It's really interesting. Yeah. And she does have like a very interesting like stare, I guess is the way I'd put that.
I'm curious to see. I don't really remember how she was drawn before the hiatus, but I'm just curious to see.
Well, do you have my charts around by chance?
Yeah.
Open just because even like the image I chose for her in her slide is just like, that is not how I view her now. Like that facial expression.
Yeah, she looks so sly. She looks like she's
it's just like
conniving.
That's just not the her we know right now.
Is that like, that must have been like the introduction when they were all kind of getting introduced?
Yeah, that's like when she first came back, I think, after visiting Sari.
But yeah, I mean, she Was she ever her eyes drawn with that much detail before? I don't know, but I mean, it is clearly. Yeah, there's one panel I think that she was kind of like a weird like sketch. Like I don't know, it might have been just Togashi not being able to finish that one up, but it was kind of more like just a quick sketch of her eye. I think it's on like the second page.
Oh right. Yeah.
But we don't know. And then sometimes her pupils are just blank. Sometimes they're it could just be Togashi's, limitations on how much detail he can draw right now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of care into drawing her, I've noticed.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
maybe he just likes her character.
I can't blame him.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right, next. Oh wait, who
Dylan
just
just
Dylan
went, right?
right?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, page max is up. Says, I have 3 things to add. 1, I believe the reason Borksen has said yes is because of advantageous situation in an end contract. Got it. Borksen had the chance to completely abandon the whole thing, but chose to participate in the game. She comes from the position of strength. I believe it might give her some sense of independence in the game. Also, if you pay attention to chapter 394, second last panel at the top, the placement of all the slackers is based similar to Nen chart with Borksen in middle specialist. I'd have to look at that. I don't exactly know what you're talking about, but maybe Dylan can dig that up or somebody. Yeah, all right. 2, this relates to chapter 405 and 407. I think Sensei is subtly foreshadowing through the negotiation game that similar to how Morena enhances the contagion ability and her group's Nen as a whole using the risk/reward and vow limitation system of negotiation game. Hisoka is also enhancing his personal Nen through him mentally being all in versus the spiders. If you pay attention in their Squix game, what is that? In the Squix game.
I guess it's the card game that Hisoka was playing. It's based on the card
When he's when he's reintroduced.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have no idea what SQX is. Do you know, Dan? Is that a card game?
I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well, there's no way you can fold an SQX apparently, unlike regular poker. Similarly, Hisoka has no intention of folding the cards versus the troop, and the risk is that he is playing the whole game versus a group. His Nen will be on steroids the next time we see him, just like how Gon's Nen was on steroids when he was focused on Pito. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
It's a good comparison there. 3, the statement from Tokashi Sensei's Nen chart. Whether a Nen user reaches ultimate from natural/genius mastery largely depends on their own efforts, but also on other factors such as luck and circumstance. Right. This is my opinion that Hisoka's mastery of gum and texture surprise has reached ultimate level. Growing limbs, etc. Well, that's texture surprise specifically, and he could. Well, has he? No, I guess he's only made skin before. He hasn't.
Yeah.
I guess making limbs is new, maybe, but maybe he could have done that the whole time. I don't really know.
I'm pretty sure when he fought Gon in the Heaven's Arena, I'm pretty sure that he lost his arm. His arm
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. I can look it up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure he lost.
Yeah, I should probably look it up because I'm not completely convinced, but I could just be missing.
Because the thing to actually mention there, which might disprove what I was just talking about, insinuating, is.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Actually,
this was against Castro in the Heaven's Arena.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do remember that. But wait, wasn't it Machi that stitched it back up though?
Yeah.
It had.
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty
it was.
sure
I
it was
think you're right.
Machi.
It was.
Yeah. Bungee gum wasn't used to restore that arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay,
Yeah.
I got this little. Hold on. When Hisoka lost texture surprise and bungee. Yeah, when Hisoka lost some body parts, then used texture surprise and bungee gum to heal himself. Did he regain them, or are they basically made out of 2 abilities? Yeah. Yeah.
But that's probably referring to the Krollo fight, right?
No. I don't, or maybe it is. This was 6 years ago. Yeah, we're spending a little too much time. Maybe, he may or may not have been able to do this. Maybe
I guess it's kind of up in the air.
Confirm whether that's true, but
I mean, there probably isn't a lot of. The only thing I can think of I was about to say is just the fact that, like, I mean, he lost an arm and a leg in the Krollo fight, and he didn't do anything mid-match. But there also wasn't a lot of time to think about doing that at the time.
Yeah, he didn't do that mid-match with in the Heavens Arena when he wasn't fighting Krollo, whoever was Castro he's fighting. This was after because this was after he fought him. But
okay.
And you know, another quick note. I looked up that panel, and yeah, it is Borksen's like in the middle of here. Maybe I can kind of. I don't know if you guys can see, but
can you raise it up a little?
Yeah. You see?
Oh.
Okay.
So it definitely is. Yeah, it looks like it. Huh. So it's kind of
interesting. Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we spent way too much time talking about texture surprise there.
Yeah. It's starting to turn into a regular Discord
Hisoka
call
was lucky he survived.
Yeah. Where was I?
Hisoka was lucky he survived.
Okay. Hisoka was lucky he survived, and he faced an extreme situation of death, and he broke through the plateau of his natural level mastery to ultimate level. And Krollo understands this, and this is why he is doing all that prep, and the reason most spiders are in a group. Yeah. Because of all the conversation we just had about texture surprise, I don't know. My brain is all jumbled now. But I don't know. Because, okay, even one more time, let's talk about this. After the Krollo fight, was it Machi who sewed the limbs back on, or
that's
did
what I'm looking at right
make entirely new limbs?
No, Hisoka made the limbs after the Krollo fight. I'm saying in the Heavens Arena fight, like the non-Krollo fight.
I know.
Yes.
That was Machi stitching the limb back
Machi stitched it up, yeah. Yep.
But
that's
after
the Castro fight?
Yeah, after the Castro fight. But after Krollo, she was like, well, he's dead. I'm not, like, I don't have issues here.
He's still... No. Machi still fixed his body afterwards. She wanted to make it presentable for a funeral.
She didn't get through finishing it before he woke up.
Okay, so he did actually generate new limbs with texture surprise.
Absolutely.
Okay, that must be new then, because if it was like done right there, that has to mean like, okay, this is new, like post-mortem then.
That's what I'm assuming based off the context.
Okay, I would agree. I think that makes sense to me.
But in any case, it's a good speculation though about how, like, you know, Hisoka enhancing his personal end by, like, just being all in, like, me versus all the spiders come at me. Like, that's an interesting thought. And it would make sense, certainly.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been more of his mindset before he fought Krollo, but after fighting Krollo, I think that maybe he would think differently because he got, wiped in that fight, and so he's, his confidence is he's still as cocky as ever, but if he got wiped by Krollo like that, how many? But you could think of his other troop members, as weaker, obviously, than Krollo, which is for sure true. But
yeah.
Okay.
You're next.
Yep. All right. Xander 8762. Togashi should have shown us the kiss. Damn it. Yeah.
Indeed.
I agree.
But other than that, I can't say I'm surprised at Borksen choosing yes. She's definitely a smart character, and she knows that even if she says no, it's only a matter of time before Morena comes for her again. She said so herself. She'll simply save her for last, lol. So she probably figured it's best to try to stop her from the inside. She definitely plans to learn more about Nen to use it to her advantage. Borksen became one of my favorite characters of this arc really quickly after this game. I also relate to her, I just want to coast through life attitude, lol. And I don't know about y'all, but when I was reading the final card flip, I was so engrossed in it. Togashi's really good at this. I feel I felt like I could, like anything could happen, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was gonna be flipped up. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she could die right here. Like,
Yeah, that was a really great moment.
He's just
I'd
the
probably be
best at
sick
it.
in the anime too.
Yeah.
oh, for sure. Yeah, please, Madhouse, come back.
Oh, you know what? You know what that just reminded me of was part 3, DRB.
Yep, Darby. Yeah,
Yep.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Right,
kinda
Dylan?
like that.
You love that part.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's so cool. Anyways, that's one of my favorite. We don't. This is not a JoJo podcast, anyways.
It could be.
Yeah. All right, guys,
Dan.
we're switching it up. Going forward, not the Hunter Association anymore.
We're the
It's the Stardust Crusaders.
Speedwagon Foundation.
Yes, Speedwagon Foundation. Yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, and then a little last part of Xander's comment here. Other than that, I'm really curious to see what happens to everyone now that martial law is in order, particularly how the Phantom Troop and Hisoka are going to handle it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I absolutely agree.
right.
Okay, Dylan's next.
Yeah. Next up from Shirokage. I just read a Reddit post saying Borksen cheated during the game, which is interesting. All right, let's hear how. 1, she asked to choose her own cards instead of Marina. Right, yeah. 2, she asked to check 2 remaining cards and held them in her hands. 3, she tapped one of the cards. 4, she asked to flip the cards at the same time, then crushed her card. Which means she did something to one of the 2 remaining cards, maybe made a dent or put something on it, and then destroyed the evidence. Oh,
Yeah.
You think the crushing could be destroying any evidence of it being tampered with?
The return card may have even been like a sleeve over the yes card to begin with. So maybe she just like crumbled up a sleeve and just left the yes card right there on the table.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Did she
yeah.
put it in her pocket after she crumbled it, or would she? I think she
No,
just put it
well,
back on the table afterwards.
The crumbled card?
Yeah.
I think it's just
I can look.
left there.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah,
Marina didn't think it was a big deal. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, we use a new set every time anyways, so like,
Well, that's
you know.
yeah. Well, I'm
it was probably just like thrown away or something.
And and Borksen, after she said that, was like,
Yeah.
that's good. So, maybe there was some cheating there.
Yeah.
That's
There's something
Interesting.
there.
that whole crumbling thing in general was just like very
Yeah.
interesting. He put that in.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't get my mind off that. I'm like, there has to be like a reason for
I did.
this.
I,
So,
when I
It
read
took
that,
me
I
off
did
guard
read
for
it. I was
sure.
like, tried to read it a couple times. I'm like, is there anything that I'm missing?
I feel like Borksen could be having Marina play into her hands a little bit, but we'll
Yeah.
see, I guess. Yeah,
She's smart enough.
I'm not convinced that was nothing, at the very least. So, good comment. Thank you for saying the specific instances of where she did. I feel like that's very helpful as well.
All right. So next comes from Aspen Log with a Henry icon. Nice. Says
Respect.
you should put down a theory for Borksen's specialist ability just to see if you get close. That could be fun. It's hard to gauge, but it's something that needed a specialist. Specialists are usually about affecting abilities themselves or something meta like fate or time. But we've already given loaned, stole abilities, so maybe something like directly turning off abilities or ignoring rules. Interesting thought.
That future
Still,
thing
I
is
can't get it out of my
interesting.
head now because of who was that comment we really liked? Was that insert
Future?
names comment? Yeah, like
Yeah. That's
the
what I
whole,
was thinking too.
improving as her army grows and whatnot. But I won't lock that in as my exact guess. I don't just want to copy somebody's. But any of you have like exact guesses on what this
Yeah,
her ability
it's-
could end up being?
It's hard to say. Like there's with Nen abilities, it's just like, and especially specialist.
It could be literally
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, that's the problem with like guessing a specialist
Yeah.
ability, man. It literally could be anything.
Right. But
Yeah, so I can't put down anything specific. All I know is that it would have to be a goal that specifically aligns with Morena's goal of ultimate destruction, right? But like, I guess more in the short term, just like,
something to counteract something that she knows is a threat currently.
yeah. I feel like it wouldn't be a defensive ability
No.
at the very least.
I
I'm confident in that. It'd be more active, but I'm not sure what that would entail.
yeah. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
hard to even.
It really is
make
hard
a,
to say.
A theory.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not able to give you
I'm
a
trash at
specific
making
like
theories
theory
anyway,
on
so.
that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to go off of for it. Like I'd have to get really creative.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah, that. Give us time. Maybe we can actually cook something up. But it's that's something we got to really think about because it'd have to be like. It would have to serve Morena in some significant way. It can't just be like some little thing because other people can accomplish that. This has to be something big.
100%.
Exactly.
All right. Isaiah Rock.
Issa.
Issa.
Oh,
Yeah.
We call them.
how do you?
Issa.
Oh, just
That's what
Issa. Okay.
Issa. Yep.
All
That's
right.
it.
Issa. Hey. So I was right last week or the week before that with the poll. Borksen won.
Yeah.
So you're one of the 20%. 20%.
Good job. Good
Good
job.
job.
But I was wrong in the part. I knew that Borksen would win, but I thought she would just walk away, not joining on her own choice. But I do think she's not joining because she wants to be a part of it. Sounds right.
Yeah.
I did see a couple people talking about the facts that she had no choice of joining because of martial law, and because what she said her coworker guards, she had no choice but join and destroy from the inside.
Yeah, it could have been a calculated risk thing, right? Like
Yeah.
if she walked away, martial law would have very much screwed her over still, right?
I feel like we would
Yeah.
have probably heard that in. Well, I guess we just don't know anything about the choice specifically why she did that, but yeah, that could be something. I don't know,
Yeah.
It definitely could be. Yeah. That's.
but props to
That's a good
getting
one.
that right. I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
didn't.
Good job on that.
Yeah, for sure. Good job. And then the last comment we have time to go over today for today's episode is from Spooky Ghost Goku, saying, even if Marina is suspicious of Bork's sudden change of heart, there's not much she can do. Thanks to martial law, Dogman can't go hunting for other specialists and crowds anymore. They're stuck with Bork. She has all the leverage and knows it. Very good observation, I think,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
So then-
absolutely.
The real question that stems for me, though, is that obviously he was approaching Crollo last time we saw him, right? Was he able to wrap Crollo into coming with him potentially before martial law was enacted?
maybe.
And we don't really know, right?
Yeah.
But that is literally the only chance of like Dogman doing anything with that hunt, before martial law, right? So it's now or never with that one. If anybody but Borksen is going to be involved in a game or just go to that hideout in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's good thing to think on. I think that's a very good observation.
It's a great comment.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great comments
there's-
today, guys.
Tons more that we could not get to. Unfortunately, we talked about texture surprise for a little too long. I think.
Yeah,
Little too long. Sorry for the yapping.
yeah.
Yes, but yeah. Sorry to everybody we didn't get to, but amazing comments this week. Go check them out in the community post.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check out the community post. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't have time to go over, but there's a lot of really good stuff there.
Yeah,
Really
I read
encourage
through
you
them
guys to
every
check it
week
out.
because I know
nice.
you guys have good comments on them. So
Yeah, it's a very good discussion post at the very least, amongst each other. So
Yeah.
definitely go get
Yeah,
involved,
it's-
guys.
It's cool to see just discussion about the chapter kind of centralized
Right.
somewhere.
It's-
Obviously, there's other places for that, but it's cool to see like our community specifically just all getting together and talking about it every week.
Absolutely.
to me, it's
Yeah.
nice because you go to Reddit, but there's 1,528 comments on one chapter's thread. So it's like it's
Yeah.
nice to see it more concise because I'm sure plenty of people make great points, but it's just overwhelming to kind of look at and go through. So it's cool to just scroll through more concise. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll get to the point where you'll have thousands of comments.
Oh
Like
boy,
community
that
posts
would
and
be a lot.
yeah,
That'll be
ideally,
a time, all right.
not a bad problem to have.
No.
Yeah.
But yep, just as one last reminder, if you want to get in on the on the talk for each episode, be sure to keep an eye out every Sunday for posts on Twitter, Bluesky, YouTube community posts, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod for updates on the show. Also on Bluesky at just THAPod. I got to add that into the script. I keep forgetting. As always, we'll be here the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. Dan, thank you so much for coming on once again. Where can people find you online?
On Twitter, DanTheMan5252. And then also on Bluesky as well. I think it's also DanTheMan5252. So yeah. But yeah, it's always an amazing time talking about Hunter x Hunter with you guys and hanging out. You know, it's fun to do on a podcast. You know, it's one thing just talking about it in like a Discord call or something, but we don't get like as in depth as we would in something like this. Mostly because you want to save that kind of discussion for the podcast specifically.
Well, true, that has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
and sorry we didn't have you on after saying you'd be on for like 3 weeks in a row.
Well, no, it's not a problem. Yeah, it's my availability is much more flexible than others, and you want to get a variety of people that actually could maybe potentially draw in new viewers and things like that. So that makes sense too.
You drawn tons. I mean, there were riots in the streets when you weren't on last week's episode, man.
God, I'm sure.
They had to shut down Times Square, I think, because the riots were so bad.
Oh my God. Wow. I didn't realize. I would have powered through it. I think this is a legitimate recreation of what my voice sounded like. It
Maybe that would have been an interesting episode.
But I text Kaige, you have the voice.
Yes, I do have the recording
of what I sounded like, but maybe that wasn't the most accurate recreation. But trust me, guys, my voice was fucked, so you wouldn't have wanted to listen to that for a couple hours.
Yeah,
I'll be on sometime soon enough, hopefully.
Yeah, you're basically like the unofficial third member, just not on as consistently as we are, obviously.
That's an honor, big honor.
Yeah. All right, Dylan, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on both Twitter and Bluesky. Way more active on Bluesky as of late, just with posts in general. But I retweet stuff or repost stuff on both. Video games, anime, manga, nerd stuff related in general. I've been getting really into Final Fantasy 14. I've posted a few different screenshots from that on Bluesky if you want to go check those out. And yeah, go find me there if you're interested.
Oh, one more place.
Cosplays as Gojo on 14.
Yeah, well, the Gojo cosplay is no more right now. Anyways,
really?
It's now Makoto Yuki. Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
I haven't posted anything yet, but it's there.
I see.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Dan?
If you want to look at my anime list, you can look at that. That's
check us all out on there. Honestly,
do you put yours in?
Okay, maybe not me. I'm a little lacking compared to these two.
Yeah, Dylan's a slacker.
Yeah. Well, he's building up his resume.
My catalog, yeah.
But
if you ever get curious about what I've seen, or Dylan, which isn't much, but
yeah, don't expect much out of mine, please.
He's working on it. You've come a long way the last year or so.
Yeah.
Well, mainly with One Piece, but yeah.
Well, that's
like 20 series in its own.
You caught up to Jujutsu Kaisen. You caught up to the Hunter x Hunter manga. I mean,
fair enough.
And like
tons of little manga.
Yeah.
Some weekly things.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer, I suppose, as well.
Oh yeah, you read Demon Slayer.
See,
that's true.
Don't.
You got stuff. You're building it up.
The build. Yeah. I'll give myself some credit.
Yeah. But that mine is Black Chidori 5252. If you want to.
It's not Dan the Man.
No, it's not Dan the Man.
That's right.
Yeah. I've had that.
Mixed you guys up, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had that there. I don't think I'll ever change that username because it's a classic by now.
It's iconic.
Dan the Man is original, but that's like my second username. That I would use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and you can find me just at Bluesky at Kaige10. I post about Pokemon TCG Pocket and anime. That's it.
Exclusively.
That's all you can expect from him.
That's all my account is. All right, and with that, I think we're done here. We will be back next week with maybe the last chapter for a while. Unclear. We'll see.
Uncertain right now. And
and real quick, I want to just send out like a blanket statement here. So all the guest suggestions we've been getting, I appreciate, and we'll keep reaching out to people as we go. But the thing is, right now, because we're so uncertain with chapters coming out, keep submitting people and all that, but I probably won't be reaching out to them anytime soon because I don't know when we're getting chapters. So just keep that in mind. We're not like ignoring people if you don't see somebody suggested come on the show. I mean, that could be for other reasons as well, obviously, but we're not entirely sure what's going on with chapters right now. So uncertainty in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never wrote the comment, but I just tell you guys should try to get Togashi on. See if you think he
I hadn't thought about that. I'll have to, maybe I'll just tweet at him.
Nicholas could translate.
You're
we
right.
know we have a friend that could literally do the translation.
English teacher in Japan.
Yeah.
Can
smart.
help us out.
Hey, maybe he could even fly him out to his.
He probably knows Togashi, right?
Yeah, he's good friends.
Right.
They live in the same country. That makes sense.
Yeah.
They probably know each other.
Yeah, small country.
So stupid.
What do you mean? He's coming on. Actually, next week, guys.
Yes.
We're getting Togashi on.
I spoiled it. Oh my god.
Speaking of big news, though, we have some stuff cooking potentially to announce very soon. Not quite ready yet, but potentially as early as next episode, we might have something ready. So be sure to keep an eye out for posts and the next episode as well.
Yeah, very exciting thing coming up, which Dan doesn't even know actually, so he's probably confused.
We'll clue you in after. We'll clue you in after.
And I think we will have a guest on next week, a long-awaited guest, to us at least.
Yeah.
I'll explain that next week, but we'll see you guys next week for chapter 410.
Yep, sounds good. See you guys next week.
Thanks.
Okay. Everybody still recording?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hunter Why don't you point at the screen?
I tried to correct the focus. All right. We can go.
That distracted me. I wasn't ready for that.
I was testing to see if you're drunk. Follow my finger.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready. Ready.
Okay. All right.